my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back. You're tuning into your Feel Good Breakfast Show, Expresso, right here on SABC3. And what a lekker Wednesday it is, man. It is awesome. So listen, we're talking shipping containers right now. Of course, they serve a pretty useful function, helping to transport goods safely across the world. However, when they come to end of their time at sea, there are numerous ways a shipping container can be given a brand new lease on life and continue being useful for years to come. So what we've done is we found a few interesting and cool ways of how people have used shipping containers to create some rather innovative structures and homes.
We know it's amazing what's happening here in South Africa. We've seen some incredible creativity. So hopefully this is going to inspire you. We're going to take you right across the world now, and we stop off first in Israel for the e-container bridge in Ariel Sharon Park. Just look at that. So if you think about the size and shape of shipping containers and how they'd look end to end, it does make, actually, now that I see it, a bit of sense that you would use them to make a very innovative bridge, and it becomes clear that they could make a very sturdy structure at that as well. And this is exactly what the architects at Mesa Architects had in mind when they designed this very colourful and innovative e-container bridge, and that, as I said, is in Ariel Sharon Park in Israel.
It looks awesome. It looks awesome. Then the next one we have for you is something called the Joshua Tree Residence. It's known as the Joshua Tree Residence, like I mentioned. It's an unusual 200 square meter home, which was designed for a film producer. It's made up of a series of shipping containers joined together at contrasting angles, creating a facade of something similar to a sea urchin. I mean, just look at that. This is a solar-powered home as well, and it features 3 ensuite bedrooms, a living area, a kitchen, and a large outdoor deck area with a swimming pool. I mean,
it's something
shipping
out of
containers,
Star Wars, dude.
Yeah.
It looks amazing. It's sort of like area here in the desert, Nogal, as well. Absolutely cool. Now let's move to a very fashionable sector in Sao Paulo, Brazil. Take a look at that. Rather than build an actual home from shipping containers, renowned Brazilian architect Marcio Kogan chose to integrate very vibrantly colored containers, as you can see, and put them into the mix. These electric colored containers are plunked down in the middle of Sao Paulo's trendiest neighborhood, and they've certainly raised the stakes. Stacked 2 stories high and painted with obviously fluorescent colors, the containers were the perfect solution to the client's needs for having almost a pop-up building on a piece of land that was being leased. It looks so funky.
Look, it is awesome. It is really awesome. So just a couple of uses of some very interesting containers and how they are giving a second lease on life.
Be inspired, South Africa. Be inspired.
We certainly are inspired. Wow, that's absolutely amazing. Now, did you know that Johannesburg is the biggest inland port in the world? Well, something that might give that away is the sheer number of containers in the city.
You learn something new every day. Yeah. And architects and property developers, they are making use of discarded shipping containers in really creative ways. And one that has everyone buzzing is a brand new building in one of Josie's trendiest neighborhoods.
There's no doubt that the cost of living is getting higher and higher by the day, and finding quality, affordable accommodation can be a challenge. Now, we've often seen containers being used as retail spaces, but a new development in the ever-vibey Maboneng precinct is using containers as living spaces. So, could this offer an alternative to conventional housing in South Africa?
Driveline Studios is the first of its kind in the country. A multi-story apartment block of repurposed shipping containers built at the entry point to Maboneng.
As you know, Maboneng is one of Johannesburg's most interactive neighborhoods where there's a lot of creativity and culture. So this project was something that was more aligned to the neighborhood, where we looked at a different and an alternative way of building, working with an innovative architectural firm, which is called Lotec. They're based in New York, and they are the leaders when it comes to container development. People think that if you stay in a container development, you might get a bit hot or a bit cold, but all those are actually myths. Container developments are actually nice and well insulated. You've got nice wooden flooring on it, and the walls and everything is nicely insulated, so you will actually feel well at home inside a container. So if you're looking for something that's slightly different, if you're looking for something that is unique and not what everybody else is staying in, I suggest you come in here and experience for yourself.
The development consists of 100 apartments that feature many reused industrial materials, making them more cost-effective.
All right, so the first thing I noticed when I walked in here is that these apartments are very compact and minimalist. Do they vary in size?
Yes, so what we are standing in here, it's a standard 30 square meter apartment, about 2 containers into one, and then we have others that are 3 containers into one, which is about 45 square meters. So what we do is we offer a furnished and a non-furnished option. So there's a price variation for a furnished apartment, but these all vary from, say, about 3,950 rand a month.
I must say that I'm very impressed by the space. I mean, you can fit an entire double bed in it, which is a plus. And although the furniture is made from recycled materials, it's still got that modern, eclectic look. And the kitchen is fully equipped with everything you need.
I really like the fact that it's very innovative. And I like the design and also the architecture and the whole thinking outside of the box and the recycling and creating sustainable neighborhoods.
The mixed-use building also boasts a communal outdoor area for residents and budget-friendly retail space that will make it much easier for small businesses to grow in the trendy precinct.
Driveline Studios consists of 105 units. How many people have occupied these units so far, and what types of people are you seeing wanting to rent these apartments?
So within the month of us launching, which was in November, we've had about 30% occupancy from the first go. We'll probably end the year at about 50-60% occupancy. That shows just how well received the product is in the market. In terms of the type of people, it's more people who want to stay in the city looking for an alternative living method, and someone that have obviously not stayed in a container before and want to see how it feels like, which is absolutely brilliant.
And where are you planning on taking this concept?
This is obviously very iconic and the first of its kind, and from here onwards we will see what the future holds for us. At this moment we're just celebrating what has been achieved within the Maboneng area.
A property that was once a car repair shop has become an eye-catching architectural wonder and a landmark of innovation in Jersey's creative hub.
Now, I must admit, I wasn't too sold on the idea of living in a container, but after experiencing one today, I'd like to think I've changed my mind. I mean, they're eco-friendly, they're affordable, and they look really good. So if you're a young professional or a student, I definitely say this is a housing option to consider.
Oh, right now the creative juices are flowing, and hopefully it's inspired you. In today's world, the modest shipping container often gets overlooked as just a means to an end. But more and more, as we've seen, innovative projects have emerged in recent years, transforming these sometimes hostile-looking steely boxes into beautiful and welcoming and very functional homes. And we've brought an expert in the field from Berman-Kalil Housing Concepts, Alicia Kalil, to advise us on the pros and cons. We're going to have a very honest chat about building with shipping containers. Want to know, is this trend of stacking steel boxes really the future of building homes here in South Africa? So thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
Hopefully that's inspired you as well, because
Yes,
this is
of
your
course.
space. This
Yes.
is where you really kind of operate and are doing some amazing things. I mean, this really does bring it all to bear when you see
It
these.
does.
And I live here in the kind of waterfront area, and I see these massive shipping container vessels coming in. There is so much material to work with.
Yes, no, for sure.
How do you even go about starting with this? How do you get your hands on a shipping container? Do they just leave them there for you? Do you have to buy them? How do you enter into this?
You do
this
have
game?
to buy it. It's not as simple as just picking up the container and putting it on your piece of land and converting it. If it was, I'm sure there would be many. But yes, depending on your piece of land and which municipality you fall under, container homes are now seen as a rational design. So they're not sort of, South Africans had the misconception that containers were containers and you couldn't make them look as beautiful as what you can. So council approval plans, an architect to help you design it, and your creativity is the only thing that stops you when you're building with containers.
How long did it take to get to this point? How much red tape have you had to...
3.5 years of lots of blood, sweat and tears. But we've got a good architect that works alongside us, which has a lot of connections within the council. And every single home that we've ever done that's needed council approval has gone through the necessary process. And as long as we build within regulation, they've been approved.
And it's vital that we have that groundwork done.
Yes.
Pros and cons, and I want you to speak honestly here because there is a danger of this being a trend that people latch onto for all the wrong reasons, and we want this to then grow. We can see this as a valuable resource in the future. What have you discovered as the major pluses and some of the real challenges?
Well, I'll go into the cons first because, to be honest, this morning on driving in, I was thinking, like, you've asked for pros and cons, and you try and think, I mean, the pros, there's plenty of pros. So you're trying to think about the cons, and you don't want to come and, like you've said, be honest with me. So now I'm going to come and say cons. And the only thing that is a con is the misconception that it is a shipping container and it can't work, first of all. And secondly, you need to be very creative with the space that you've got and how big you can actually go. So that's the cons for me. The pros are it's modular, you can be creative, it costs a lot less than brick and mortar, and the timelines of getting it ready is also much quicker.
And once you've got a model that works, you can keep duplicating that in innovative ways. What are those costs? How much does it cost to take container from ship to home?
You're generally looking at about entry level, so for sort of affordable housing, you would be looking at about 7,500 Rand a square meter. Where brick and mortar, on recent research, you're looking in between 10 and 12,000 Rand a square meter. So it is a lot cheaper.
Is this the future? Is there enough thrust behind this? Are there enough companies and enough interest from government, I think would be the big question, to make this viable?
We've had, and like I said, the con is the misconception, where the misconception is it looks like that on the outside, so people can't really fathom that you've got insulation on the inside, you've got a walling system, it really works, it gets put up in a flash. So yes, I think the misconception is the biggest problem with government because they don't know how to go to market with it and say, this is what we're going to put up for you. It's a lot quicker, it works, and it's functional.
Is this the answer to low-cost housing in South Africa?
I think so. I mean, look, if you take Cape Town, for example, we've got this massive water crisis. We don't use any water in the production of our homes.
Wow.
Like you said earlier, the only water we use is the water that the guys are drinking. But I mean, they're drinking the water. It's not like we use it to build.
In your industry, that's your version of dropping the mic and leaving the stage.
That's
a massive thing. Thank you so much. This really has inspired me, and hopefully you've been inspired,
yes,
and this has renewed your passion.
It has.
This is an opportunity, I think, for South Africa to start looking at things slightly differently. It's estimated that there are 24 million, come on, empty shipping containers in the world that will not be used for cargo again, which means it is definitely something to look into. But as the saying goes, one man's return shipping container is another man's crazy, high-end modular home. That's not really a saying. I'm just getting on trend.
Well, I can't believe you can do so much with shipping containers. It is absolutely incredible. Are you okay over there?
I'm so good. I am so good.
Well, we're taking a quick break on your Feel Good Breakfast Show. When we get back, we continue to celebrate the life and music of Brahu Masikela, and our condolences go out to his family and friends.
Absolutely, and then we need to catch up with some fashion. It's Paris Fashion Week, y'all, and we bring you the hottest fashion right off the runway.
Only